What's worse than heartbreak? Being a Cleveland Browns fan in 2017. This wasn't just a bad season. This was a historically painful crash and burn that made Browns fans wonder if they were secretly living in a football horror movie. We're talking 0 wins, 16 losses, and the kind of dysfunction that makes you laugh just to stop from crying. So today, we're breaking down everything inside the Browns' 0-16 nightmare season. Hue Jackson arrived in Cleveland in 2016 with swagger. He told the world, "You can trust me, I'll get this fixed." But instead of fixing anything, he gave Browns fans a crash course in pain management.
I haven't really talked to our medical staff yet. I normally like to wait till after practice and tonight after guys have gotten in and showered and went in the training room. So as far as who for sure is not going to play, I won't know a lot of that until tomorrow. And I'm sure we'll let you guys know as soon as we do.
His first season, 1-15. His second, 0-16. That's a combined record of 1-31. You'd have better luck flipping a coin and calling heads 31 times in a row than Hue Jackson did at winning football games. What made it worse was his confidence. Jackson kept insisting, "You're going to see the improvement." Yeah, Hue, we saw it. We saw you lose 10 games by double digits and turn close games into heartbreak. He even famously said after 2016, "You won't see another season like this." The universe said, "Bet," but bad coaching only goes so far. You also need the right quarterback. Unfortunately, Cleveland had, none. The 2017 Browns had 3 different starting quarterbacks: rookie DeShone Kizer, Cody Kessler, and Kevin Hogan. That's less of a quarterback room and more of a clearance rack. Kizer, the rookie out of Notre Dame, got most of the action. 15 starts. He showed flashes of athleticism, but he also led the entire NFL in interceptions with 22. He threw almost twice as many picks as touchdowns. It was like every Sunday, defenses were running Kizer's routes better than his receivers. Meanwhile, Kessler and Hogan each made brief appearances, but let's be real, if your quarterback depth chart looks like a preseason depth chart, you're in trouble. Opposing defenses were practically circling Cleveland on the calendar as a stat pad game, and bad QB play wouldn't have been so brutal if there were any offensive weapons to back them up. Spoiler, there weren't. The Browns' offense in 2017 was like trying to light fireworks in the rain. Nothing was sparking. They ranked dead last in the NFL in points scored, averaging just 14.6 points per game. For context, the Patriots that year averaged double that. The leading receiver wasn't even a wideout. It was running back Duke Johnson, who caught 74 passes. When your running back is your best passing option, it's like saying the water boy is also your MVP. Their supposed number 1 wide receiver, Corey Coleman, played only 9 games and dropped a critical 4th down pass against Pittsburgh in Week 17 that sealed the 0-16 record. That's the kind of nightmare that keeps fans awake years later. But fine, if you can't score, maybe you can at least stop other teams from scoring, except Cleveland's defense didn't get the memo. Now, to be fair, the Browns' defense wasn't quite as atrocious as their offense, but that's like saying a dumpster fire isn't as bad as a house fire. They ranked 31st in points allowed and finished bottom 5 in total defense. Myles Garrett, the number 1 overall pick, flashed superstar potential with 7 sacks despite missing time with an injury, but one rookie edge rusher can't carry an entire defense. The secondary was shredded all year long, and teams averaged 25 points per game on them. Opposing quarterbacks finished with a passer rating of 102.2 against Cleveland. Basically, every QB looked like Tom Brady when they faced the Browns. But here's the worst part. Despite getting blown out often, Cleveland actually came painfully close to winning games. and that made it even worse. If you only looked at the Browns' record, you'd think every game was a blowout. But here's the painful twist. A lot of those games were winnable. Cleveland lost 6 games by 1 possession and went to overtime twice. Translation, Browns fans didn't just get 16 losses, they got 16 teases. Take week 3 against the Colts. Jacoby Brissett, not exactly Tom Brady, looked like a Pro Bowler, but the Browns still had a shot late. DeShone Kizer led a fourth quarter comeback, threw a TD to close the gap, and suddenly Browns fans thought, wait, are we actually going to pull this off? Nope. A failed onside kick later, it was Heartbreak City. Or how about week 14 against the Packers? The Browns had a 21-7 lead going into the fourth quarter, a 2-touchdown lead. Fans were already tweeting victory memes, probably popping open some celebratory Great Lakes beer, and then collapse. Brett Hundley, yes, Brett Hundley, led Green Bay back, tied it, and won in overtime. Browns fans had their hopes stolen by a quarterback whose career highlight is being Aaron Rodgers' backup. That's like losing your job interview to the guy who didn't even bring a resume. And let's not forget the final dagger. Week 17 against the Steelers. The Browns had a chance to avoid infamy. 4th down, DeShone Kizer drops back, fires a strike to Corey Coleman, and it bounces right off his hands. That drop didn't just cost them the game, it sealed their place in history as only the second 0-16 team ever. Imagine being Coleman. That's the kind of nightmare you wake up from in a cold sweat 10 years later. The theme of 2017 wasn't just losing, it was losing in ways that maximized emotional damage. Browns fans didn't get mercy rule blowouts where you could just turn off the TV at halftime. No, they got fake hope, dramatic comebacks, and soul-crushing collapses. It was like being served a 5-star meal only to realize that the last bite, it's made of cardboard. And when you stack up all those heartbreaks, you don't just lose games, you earn yourself a membership in one of the most humiliating clubs in NFL history. The Browns became only the second team in NFL history to go 0-16, joining the infamous 2008 Detroit Lions. That's a list nobody wants to be on. If the NFL had a Hall of Shame, these two teams would be first ballot. It's one thing to have a bad year, it's another to be historically awful. Years later, when people say worst NFL team ever, the 2017 Browns are always in the conversation. And no franchise wants that kind of immortality, but Browns fans, they didn't just sit back in silence. Oh no, they went all in on making their pain loud and proud. Browns fans are some of the most loyal in football. But in 2017, loyalty turned into sarcasm. After the 0-16 season, thousands of fans literally threw a parade to celebrate the failure. They called it the perfect season parade. Fans marched in freezing Cleveland weather, circling First Energy Stadium like it was a funeral procession. Some even held signs saying, "From 0 to 16, we stuck with you." It was both hilarious and heartbreaking. Think about it. Your fans are so conditioned to pain, they literally make fun of themselves in public just to cope. And if that wasn't enough, the Browns front office made the season sting even worse with some truly head-scratching draft decisions. The 2017 NFL Draft will haunt Cleveland forever. They had multiple chances to draft franchise quarterbacks. Patrick Mahomes went number 10 overall.
With the 10th pick in the 2017 NFL Draft, the Kansas City Chiefs select Patrick Mahomes, the second quarterback.
It is Patrick Mahomes, the second.
Deshaun Watson went number 12. The Browns, they took defensive back Jabril Peppers and tight end David Njoku in the first round. then picked Kizer in the second. Imagine walking into a car dealership, passing on the Ferrari and saying, "Nah, I'll take the minivan with no engine." Browns fans still wake up in cold sweats thinking about Mahomes in orange and brown. But the draft wasn't the only disaster. The dysfunction started at the very top. The Browns front office in 2017 was basically a corporate food fight. Sashi Brown, the GM, was pushing an analytics-driven rebuild. Ownership was growing impatient. Hue Jackson was clashing with management. Instead of alignment, you had chaos. The team was torn between building for the future and trying to win now, so they did neither. It was like arguing whether to fix the roof or the foundation and deciding to just let the whole house collapse. And at the end of it all, there's only one fact that matters. At the end of the day, the Browns season boiled down to one brutal number: 0. 0 wins, 16 losses, a perfect season in reverse. The NFL is built for even bad teams to stumble into a win, a lucky bounce, a backup quarterback, a sloppy opponent. Usually you steal one. Not Cleveland. They lost every way imaginable. Blowouts, overtime heartbreaks, dropped passes in the clutch. It was like watching a 16-episode series called How Not to Win a Football Game. The offense averaged just 14.6 points per game. Their quarterbacks combined for 15 touchdowns against 28 interceptions. And yet, 62,000 fans still packed into First Energy Stadium every week. Loyalty that felt more like endurance training. The 0-16 finish didn't just make them bad, it made them immortal. Forever linked with the 2008 Lions as the NFL's ultimate cautionary tale. And when fans threw the perfect season parade in January 2018, it cemented Cleveland's nightmare as more than football history. It became a cultural punchline. No matter what happens in the future, the Browns' 2017 season isn't just remembered. It's tattooed into NFL history as one of the darkest seasons ever played. The 2017 Browns didn't just lose, they redefined losing. A season so historically bad it became a cultural reference point. But that's also what makes the NFL great. Every collapse has a chance for redemption. So let me ask you, was the 2017 Browns season the most embarrassing in NFL history, or do the 2008 Lions still hold that crown? Drop your thoughts in the comments, smack that like button if you've ever survived a season of pain as a fan, and don't forget to subscribe. Around here, we don't just cover football, we dive head first into the chaos.